Marathon Monday. Y'all, let's talk about Jasmine taking to Twitter, Instagram, wherever to defend Kimberly. Is adoption abandonment or love? Let's have a real conversation about this, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers and my nieces and nephews and all the y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old. It's time for auntie advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for auntie advice.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Auntie's Advice. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. And to all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. Y'all, in the first episode of 90 Day Fiancé, God, what's the name of the show? It's so many spins off, okay? I can't even remember the name of the show. Y'all let me know downtown in the comment section what the name of this stupid show is. Anyway, on the new episode of 90 Day Fiancé, right? Kimberly came out, The Single Life, that's what it's called. Kimberly came out and did a confession, and I mean a huge confession, indicating that she had put up 2 children for adoption. Now, in that episode, we watched as Kimberly and Jamal had a conversation about how one of her sons or one of her adopted children, Larry, had looked them up on ancestry.com, right? To see whether or not, he could find his family. And he did indeed find Kimberly. During the time period that he had found Kimberly, the two of them were having a conversation where she was talking to him as if he was Jamal, basically catfishing her own son. In that episode, we were shocked, we were appalled. All of us had mixed feelings about it. And it just was what it was, right? And so Kimberly has been getting both positive and negative comments in my video, and I will try to link it to this. I said I'm going to judge Kim, and I did. While I understand what she did and try to sympathize and empathize about it, I know that the adoption system is really hard on children, and that if you had to do it, you really had to do it. So today I wanted to talk about adoption. Is it love or is it abandonment? But before I do that, I wanted to have one of the most hypocritical people in 90 Day Fiancé history as it relates to children. I wanted you all to see what Jasmine had to say about it. I was like, the audacity of her to say anything about anybody as it relates to children. If you all are not familiar, Jasmine has been on the 90 Day Fiancé franchise for about 100 years, going back and forth with Gino. As we all know, she has 2 boys of her own that she is not taking care of, came here to the United States of America, hooked up with Gino, okay, in my opinion, to get a green card and to have a better life, since that is all she has been talking about is her ability to stay here in this country. And she left 2 boys. Now, there have been different people who have said that, the boys are with the father, the boys are with the mother. Even people have said that her sister, or the young lady that is her sister, is alleged to be Jasmine's child. At this point, we don't know how many children Jasmine got. But anyway, she, of course, has to always appear on somebody's thread about this, lying and saying that, in my opinion, lying and saying that her and Matt weren't together and Matt was sleeping in the truck and people were finding all kinds of clues that that wasn't true in their humble opinion. Like, this is the worst person, in my opinion, to be advocating for anybody's child or anybody's parenting. But anyway, let me show you all what Jasmine decided that she wanted to come out on the social media streets and say about Kimberly.
Okay, guys, I need to speak on something that really matters to me, and it's hurting one of my best friends. And
So now Kim is one of her best friends? Since when? Since when?
okay, guys, I need to speak on something that really matters to me, and it's hurting one of my best friends. And she's an exceptional human being, and I love her so much. She has been one of the most supportive, unconditional friends I have had for 5 years, okay? People need to stop sending hate to Kimberly for placing 2 of her children for adoption, because you don't know her story. You don't know the battles that she has fought inside.
You don't know,
okay? You don't know the sacrifices that she has made with a mother's heart. And adoption is not abandonment. Adoption is love. Adoption is choosing a future for your child when you know that you cannot give them everything they deserve in that moment. It takes a strength, okay, to say, you know what? My child deserves more than I can offer right now. And it takes courage to put your child's need above your own pain. And that, in my book, sorry, that is not weakness. That is part of motherhood. And no woman ever should be shamed, okay, for making an impossible decision in a very impossible situation. If you have never have to choose between breaking your own heart and trying to save your own child's future, then you don't need to judge. So please, I'm begging you, be kinder, okay, and be more compassionate. Only God is perfect to judge us, and He is love. And Kimberly, my love, listen, you're not a bad mother. You are a very loving mother and a very good friend, okay? You made a very selfless choice. So please, let's stop attacking a woman for surviving, and let's stop punishing mothers for choosing love in different forms. Enough is enough.
Now, sounds like to me she talking from her own perspective. It sounds like Jasmine is talking out of guilt for what she has done with her children. That's why sometimes it's just the wrong person to say something. The wrong person. Had that came from somebody that looked like they halfway had some integrity, I may have been able to swallow that. But coming from Jasmine, I don't think so. I don't think so. Wrong instrument, wrong voice, wrong time. As far as we don't know who taking care of Jasmine's kids. While she over here playing games, acting ignorant, fighting on camera, trying to intimidate another woman, calling her a whore. She's the wrong spokesperson for Kim. We have not, okay, let me not say we. I have not seen anything positive about Jasmine. And as far as woman to woman and loving and respecting another woman and the things that she has been through, let's talk to Natalie about that. Let's talk to all the other women that she has talked about poorly and smacked and threw water in their face, and the men. Like, she's just the wrong person to be saying anything about being a good mother and talking about adoption is love. Every time I open up my comments, somebody is arguing about motherhood, abandonment, adoption, and the 90-day fiance. When a reality TV star leaves their children behind or gives children up for adoption and then becomes famous, how are we supposed to feel about that, Jasmine? Now, let me just say this clearly. Adoption is complicated, okay? Long distance parenting is complicated, and none of us know the full private details of anyone's life. But what we do see is that what TLC chooses to show us, and that's when it gets very interesting, in my opinion. When Jasmine moved to the U.S., we saw tears about Gino. We saw fights about lip gloss. We saw drama about prenups. What we did not see deeply explored was her children. When did we hear about Jasmine's children and the effect that it had on her, on them leaving two little boys? And I believe one of the little boys has some type of, anyway. We were left filling in the blanks about Jasmine's children. And years later, we are still left filling in the blanks. Now, with Kimberly, when she shared that she placed two children for adoption early in life, it was almost presented as a footnote to her storyline. A quick confession, a moment in time, and then back to relationship drama. And that's where the audience disconnect happens. And that's where it happened to me. Because parenting, whether through adoption, separation, or distance, is emotional. So when viewers perceive calmness, detachment, or lack of visible remorse from Jasmine, of all people, some people interpret it as not caring. But here's the grown conversation. Not crying on camera does not equal grieving. Not explaining every detail does not equal abandonment. And TV reality editing notes does not equal the full truth about what happened between with Kimberly or with Jasmine. When you sign up for public fame, your private decisions become public decisions, discussions, and decisions. That's the trade-off for being on 90 Day Fiancé or any other reality show. The bigger issue is, why does reality TV spend more time on romantic chaos than on these real life consequences? Why did Kim feel like after year of chasing after Usman and every other man that got that slinging anything? Mind you, right now she's on the single life looking for love, but she got unresolved issues with her own children. Let's just go ahead on and talk about it. Let's just put it all out there on the line. Let's talk about it. Shall we, Jasmine? Shall we, Kim? Let's talk about it. One thing I do believe is that Kim should have made sure that when she revealed this, that she did this in her own. She should have had her own special. Because I don't think that this year we're going to be interested in hearing anything other than what has happened with Kim Kids and the reunification. Why do we see ring drama in slow motion, but life-altering parenting decisions in 30 seconds? Here's an uncomfortable question, y'all. Would the audience react the same way if these was fathers? Or do we hold mothers to a different emotional standard? I'm not here basically to condemn anyone, but I am here to say this. Two things can be true at the same time. A person can love their child and make a decision that others would never make. A person can feel grief and not perform it for television. Because when you package real life as entertainment, the audience is going to analyze it, and that's human nature to judge. So maybe the real conversation isn't abandonment versus love. Maybe it's how do reality TV frame motherhood? And what responsibility does the production have when telling these stories? That's the discussion. We're not bullying. We're not attacking children. We're not diagnosing anyone. We're just asking a question about whether we're being shown what we're being shown and what we're not. Now, I want to hear from y'all about what y'all think about this. There was something I pulled up today, right? Okay. So I pulled up is adoption abandonment or love? Since Jasmine wants to say that it is love. But guess what? Adoption is on the perspective of the person who was adopted. Not Jasmine, not Auntie, and not Kimberly. That's how I fully believe. It's not about what we think. It's about the effects and effects of what happened to that child. We don't know what kind of family adopted them. We don't know what their lives was like growing up being adopted. Right now on Love is Blind, we got one of the young ladies. I can't think of what her name is. She was adopted, and then she had to have 10 surgeries by the time that she was 7 years old because she had a scar, a mole on her or a birthmark on her that was cancerous. And now here she is, a grown ass woman sitting on Love is Blind, not knowing whether or not she wants to have children because she doesn't know her medical history. And everybody that she has talked to in the Love is Blind pods, she is bringing up the fact that she doesn't even know whether or not she wants to have children because she doesn't know any pre-existing health issues. She doesn't know why she had to go through all of those surgeries when she was small. I mean, when she was young. She said they found her in a train station. Adoption comes in different forms. Adoptions could come as voluntary, as Kim said that hers could. Some of them come by child protective orders in order to do something in the best interest of the child. They take the child out of the home. There are a lot of reasons why people get adopted, and they ain't all good. And I refuse to believe that this young man had the best of life if he out there on ancestry.com looking to see who his mom and his daddy is. There was something that drove the curiosity. And a lot of times when we look at adoption shows or read something in an article, it is because the children want to know who they are. That they have, a lot of them grow up not knowing who they are, how to relate to people, because they're wondering what was it about them that caused them to be adopted, even though this has nothing to do with the children. These are these are things that, as Jasmine say, women make. These are decisions women make. How do her children feel? She didn't even tell her mother that she was pregnant. She's a grown woman. She waited to the final hour to tell her mother about having a child with Matt. And she got the audacity to try to be the voice of Kimberly and a voice of making good decisions. Wrong person. Wrong spokesperson. Wrong spokesperson. Adoption is not good when the child feels like it's abandonment. For many adoptees, especially as children, adoption can feel like being left behind, rejection, why wasn't I kept, and a loss of identity or origin. Even in healthy adoptive homes, there still can be grief. Adoption always begins with separation, and separation is a loss, Jasmine, even if the outcome is positive. And that emotional truth is valid. Jamal is sitting up there. He didn't get adoption, okay? He didn't get adopted, but he's wondering why she kept him. Why did he not get put up for adoption? It's not as easy as Jasmine saying it is. And everybody is going to view this and have their own perspective on this. And whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, it's yours to have. So how dare she feel like she can come out there and correct anybody about something and we don't know what the fuck is going on with her kids? Adoption, they say, is an act of love, and this is the research that I did. For many birth parents, adoption is a sacrifice, a decision made under difficult circumstances, an attempt to give a child stability, safety, and an opportunity they feel unable to provide. It can be a choice made from poverty, age, lack of support, health issues, unsafe environments, and emotional unreadiness. Kimberly has already came out and said that it was emotional and that she didn't think that she could do it. And that's for her to live with. But the thing about it is to hide it from your own son who has walked around the majority of his life thinking he's the only child. That's when I take issue with it. And I ain't gonna sit up here and play the games. Because whatever I say out of my mouth, it's my opinion. Doesn't make it factual or actual. It's my opinion, and I'm entitled to that. I really am. As it relates to Kimberly. Yes, is she probably living with regret based on her emotional unreadiness or maybe her financial unreadiness? Adoption, according to my research, is love wrapped in loss, sacrifice wrapped in grief, security born from instability. Two things can be true at the same time. A child can feel abandoned, and a parent can feel like they acted out in love. So the last thing that we need is for Jasmine to sit there and try to make corrections to people. I don't believe that that Kimberly is being harassed. If she is, please stop. It is no need to be out here harassing this woman about something that she has done years ago. However, if you have an opinion about it, don't hesitate to show or talk about your opinion. Ain't nothing wrong about that. She put it out there for discussion. And so we all are going to discuss it. It just is what it is. And for Jasmine to say you don't know what she's been through, neither do you. You only been knowing this woman by your own admission 5 years. And that's been as long as Lisa been on this show. Kimberly been on this show. Jasmine, sit down somewhere and figure out what you're going to do with your children. How about you do that? How about you come out and tell the truth? Have the audacity to come out and tell the truth about what's happening with yours before you stand your butt out there and try to defend somebody else's actions. It sounds like a deflection to me. It sounds like guilt to me. It sounds like you want to come out there and tell your story. So tell your own story. But what you're not going to do is come after the 90-day Fiancé fans or the lookers or watchers or whatever you want to call us. We'll need you to tell Kim's story. We just waiting on Kim to tell her own. Stand down. Thank you, Alice. Alice said, clean your own house before you judge mine. You daggone right. The audacity to try to make it seem like it's something wrong with us having a discussion about it. Some of us being, hey, Phoenix, some of us being a little disappointed in Kimberly. Why keep this story all this time? Not from us, but from Jamal. And for that, I'm going to talk about it until I don't feel like talking about it anymore. I'm going to give my opinion. I'm going to talk my stuff. And I'm going to do what I do with the woo-whoop and the boo-boo-boo. And I ain't going to let nobody like Jasmine think that she can come out here and tell me anything different. Girl, bye. Sit down somewhere. Anyway, y'all let me know downtown in the comment section what y'all think about this Marathon Monday. Love y'all. Bye.